Hi everyone, today we're looking at Bandai's Mazinger Z, and this one is the Big Bang Punch model, where the Mazinger Z can actually close his wings to become the Big Bang Punch, as you can see in this drawing here. So on the right side you see the fist, that's the Big Bang Punch, but it can also just be the typical Mazinger Z model that you see here. And so we're going to take a look inside. There's actually quite a bit of sheets that we will be actually putting together. And here's the manual here that you can see. It actually gives you step-by-step. This is actually all in Japanese because this is a Japanese import. So there are no English instructions, but the directions are pretty clear visually, so I don't think that would be a problem. So when cutting these pieces off of the sheet, there are a few different ways to do it. The way I'm just doing it right now is just getting a wire snipper and getting very close to where the stem meets the piece and just kind of getting a clean cut. And then I'll just go over with X-Acto knife to kind of just get rid of any nubs or little pieces that are sticking out just to get a clean finish. The other way that I've seen a lot of people do, which is actually a bit cleaner, is to cut away from the joint. So you'll be cutting the stem itself, and then once you remove the piece from the sheet, then you will actually go again with the wire snipper or your plastic snipper and actually cut closer to the piece afterwards. And the reason why you do that though is because if you're cutting too close to the piece as you're cutting away from the sheet, some of the other pieces might slightly bend, or it might try to warp a little bit, so you get a little bit of that white nub. So kind of just removing the bigger piece first, and then being able to have room around to just snip away the stem pieces afterwards actually allows you to reduce the amount of the white nub pieces that you end up getting. So one thing you may have noticed is that on the top left corner, you're going to see the instruction manual, and specifically the part that I am working on, so you can follow along with the manual. Just because I noticed that when sometimes watching these videos, it might be very confusing which part I'm working on or what step I'm working on. So if you wanted to kind of follow along, you can kind of see it on the top left corner, and I'm showing a red arrow of the exact step that I'm working on, because sometimes with these parts, especially with the black models, it's kind of hard to see because of the way that the light reflects and also the shadow cast. It's kind of hard to see the detail of the part. So, you know, just being able to follow along exactly where in the manual I'm at, I'm hoping that this will help you build along with me. A personal opinion of mine, this red part that you see that's going to be on the front chest plate, I really did not like because it's very loose and it doesn't really fit into the front chest that well, that it keeps popping out whenever I'm moving it. So this is just a minor detail, but I did not like how this part was designed. You're going to notice that there are two front chest pieces. One has a cavity, and the other one is just the front chest with the two Z pieces on it, the red Z pieces. And so the reason why is because this Mazinger Z is supposed to transform to the Big Bang Punch, and so that the cavity that's created by the first chest plate is actually going to be the cavity where the neck will slide into or actually rotate into when you're converting it to the Big Bang Punch. The small back plate is just to cover the hole that you'll be actually using to attach the wings later. So the best way to describe the process for the head is that you're going to slide in the eyepiece as you see here, and then you're going to put the first back piece of the neck that's going to go in vertically. You're going to kind of slide it in a little bit where you see that kind of round earpiece, and then you're going to add in the bottom of the visor part of the eye, that's going to be the black part, and then you're going to put in the nose and the mouthpiece kind of like right over it, like this. It could go in slightly at an angle because the two nubs are actually going to go in horizontally, but you want to put it in slightly at an angle so that the nose covers part of the black visor. I skipped this portion of the video a little bit, but you're going to be creating two identical shoulder pieces that you're going to see this part right now, but I'll only show it once. When you're attaching the PC2 part, make sure that the flat side of the hole is actually pointing up. As you see here, the bell bow side should be pointing downwards. And for the round piece that is PC12, there's only one opening, so you're going to actually have the opening point downwards. When you're attaching the arm to the shoulder part, it is a little bit difficult because the G8 part, you need to fit in that parallel to the hole that you have, and so that one was a little bit tricky for me to push in, so I actually had to push it in very hard. And you're going to see this right here, but it's actually kind of hard to align it perfectly and then kind of squeeze it in. So make sure that you had the PC2 part kind of aligned vertically up so that you can align it perfectly to the hole and be able to slide the whole part in. So we're going to start assembling the upper body by attaching the two arms and the head, but we will actually not put in the headpiece, that is the pilot control box. And the only reason why is because I like to kind of put that at the end to kind of give it that nice finish at the very end. Similar to the shoulders, I will only show one set of leg parts that we're going to be putting together, but then afterwards I will show the assembly of each leg. The legs are very straightforward. You just put the PC pieces and part of the pieces on one side of the leg, and then you close it off with the other shell of the leg afterwards. Kind of similar to the elbow piece of the arm, the leg knee joint is going to have the similar problem that it is a little bit of a tight squeeze, and you have to angle it just right because it needs to be parallel to the PC part that you're going to be attaching it to. So just kind of wiggle it in, and you kind of have to put a lot of pressure into it because it is a very tight fit. When working on the waist part, if you look at the pieces, you're going to see like a double apostrophe. So that is just to kind of caution you about the orientation of the piece. So look carefully at the manual as you're putting it together to make sure you're having the proper side up or to the right. I apologize for being kind of off camera for this part. Sometimes with these tighter fits, I kind of, I'm trying to push it in hard that I kind of forget where the camera is placed because I'm trying to have the piece closer to me as I'm putting it together. So we're now putting the lower body together, and with this we're actually done with the Mazinger Z model. And the rest of the video is actually going to be for the wing that's going to be attached to the Mazinger Z model. I kind of like putting the headpiece on at this point at the very end of the model, of the Mazinger model, just because, you know, in the anime too, you know, when the Mazinger is supposed to be active, the pilot plane actually goes into the headpiece. So I always like doing it at the end for that reason. So the part of the wing is going to have these kind of jet packs. And so you're going to look at it and kind of realize it looks very similar to kind of the shoulder piece or the arm piece, and then or even the leg piece. And the reason for that is that the Big Bang model, so that when you're actually having it become the Big Bang punch, these rocket pieces are actually going to become the fingers of the fist that you were going to create. And you're going to notice that you're only creating 2 of these fingers, and you're going to create a thumb piece later that's going to be the kind of the tailed jetpack. The 2 missing fingers of this Big Bang punch is actually going to be the Mazinger Z arms, the 2 arms that you had on the Mazinger Z. And so the reason why you had that kind of weird piece that attaches to the shoulder that's supposed to rotate out 180 degrees is because that you're actually going to rotate out the arm shoulder piece 180 degrees so that the arm actually flips backwards and becomes part of the fist. And so this part is actually going to be the thumb slash the tail jetpack portion of the wing. And this piece, I have to say, I did not really like how it was designed because of the way that it was placed. That kind of tail as you're moving around likes to pop out a lot. So this model in general, a lot of the pieces as you're transforming, parts will come off very easily. So that's just a kind of fair warning. You know, it's not that you kind of built it wrong or loosely, it's just how the model is. As you're putting these 2 kind of wing parts in, you are going to notice that it's actually not oriented the same way, and that's actually because the 2 wings will kind of tuck under each other, so they're not supposed to be on the same plane. This is the tail piece that I was talking about that is actually supposed to be like a jet booster, and this will actually become the thumb of the Big Bang punch. Now that we have put everything together, we just need to create the 2 wingspans, and we should be done with the wing of the Mazinger Z. And so this kind of last part of the wing that's supposed to be clipped into the other wingspan, I actually did not like the design of this because as you're supposed to, you know, flap the wing upward or in or out as you're creating the wingspan or you're closing it to create the fist, that junction, that kind of part that's supposed to attach to the other wingspan, it likes to pop out a lot. So it's actually not a very smooth transition when you're doing the transformation sequence. So I actually did not like how it was made just because it just seemed very clunky. Once we attach the two yellow belt pieces, we are actually done with the wing. To attach the wing, I already removed the white back plate that you see there, and you're going to insert the piece that's sticking out, the rod piece of the wing, into that hole at the back side, and then you are going to close the belt up so that it kind of attaches in place. And so if you're actually using one of those base holders for the models, there's going to be a piece that came with this model that you're going to actually insert in between the two belt pieces, and that's going to give you a little nub piece for you to attach to the base stand. So I'm showing how to transform this model into the Big Bang Punch, but as you're going to see, it's very clunky. A lot of parts keep falling off, even when I'm sure that it actually clicked in at the right spot. And you're going to see a lot of parts kind of coming out. But as you can see here, the shoulder kind of dislocates, and so they can rotate 180 degrees. And so then you can actually move the arms backwards so that it becomes the fingers, the two fingers out of the four for the Big Bang Punch. And then once you open up the belt, you can kind of fold down the front chest piece so that you can fit the head in by rotating the neck. And then you're going to close that back up, and you're actually going to rotate the two Z pieces inwards so it looks more like a V shape that aligns with the belt. And then you're going to have the wings go actually down, and then you're going to kind of close off the wings so that it kind of just creates the wrist of the Big Bang Punch. And then lastly, afterwards, what you're going to do is you're going to kind of rotate the thumb piece until it sticks out, and then you're going to rotate it around so that it becomes the kind of the jointable finger for the thumb. I just said jointable, but what it really meant was opposable thumb. Sorry. As I said, this thumb piece and a lot of the pieces as you're transforming it is going to come off. It's just because it's kind of loose. It's just the way that the model is designed, unfortunately. So, don't be frustrated when you're trying to move the piece and things come off. If anything, it's easier if you just take it off and just kind of attach it back into the right location that you want it to be. And there it is. This is the Big Bang Punch. Unfortunately, I don't like how it really looks, so I just like keeping it as the Mazinger Z model with the wingspans when I'm actually displaying it at my house. And these are the final images of the Mazinger Z, and then here's Mazinger with the wings. And then I have a few more photos with the Big Bang Punch. You can see these close-up images. It's pretty detailed in a sense. It's actually a pretty simple model to build, so I think it looks really nice at the end of the day. I do like the fact that it transforms, so there's a little bit more complexity to the model. It's just, I do like just the way the Mazinger Z with the wing looks better than the Big Bang Punch itself. If you like watching this video, hit that subscribe button and hit the like button also, and thank you for watching.